Welcome to Keep Stream Skip Podcast. This is Keep Stream Skip. The following movie has a trigger warning about friends who let other friends do gun. Listener discretion is advised. We got a new mic because if you were on the previous episode, by the way, my name is Nick. I'm with Samantha and Juliana.
Hello.
If you're new to the show, we basically go back and look at old films, including crazy films on Tubi and so forth. Anything that's basically streaming or can be bought digitally, but sometimes we do physical copies and listen to that as well. But anyways, we have two movies. They're birthday picks from Samantha. And the first movie has some stuff in it, which is dealing with sexual assault and rape. So if you are sensitive to that, you may want to skip to the next episode. But to give you a little bit of an explainer, we got a new mic for Juliana because in the second movie when we recorded, and I believe it was the fourth episode because this should be the fifth one, it cut out completely. So if you were like, huh, that's weird. We're hearing them talk about stuff that she's saying and we can't even hear it. We apologize for that.
Or we talk about something and you don't even hear her, so we're just talking random shit.
When they laugh to nothing. That was because I said something funny.
Exactly. So hopefully it'll work out now. I think we fixed it. And until we can get another expensive mic, which the other one is expensive, it's just without going all the technical details, it's just not the same brand, but it works very well. All right. So today's date is August 17th. We are going to be going over The Smokers. So Samantha, why don't you take it away?
Okay, so The Smokers is a 2000 film. It is a dark comedy or drama or thriller, supposedly, according to
Thrills, chills,
various
I guess.
sources.
Yeah.
The writers, one of them is Kat Slater, who, by the way, is Christina Peters. She went by Christina Peters at the time. And then Kenny Gold. Kat Slater also directed it. And the actors, there's like a long list of actors.
All right.
So do those.
So yeah, there's. I'll help out. Dominic Swain, Busy Phillips, Carrie Lynn Pratt, Nick Loeb. Hold on, let me get to the other page. Oliver Hudson, Carrie. And I already said Carrie Pratt, right? Oh, Ryan Browning. I miss Ryan Browning. So.
Oh, and Thora Birch.
Oh, Thora Birch. Yeah, she does a bit in there. Not too long, but she's in there.
No, and she actually got nominated because of this, as she was a nominee of the DVD Premiere Award for Supporting Actress.
So it tells you the age of the film when you say DVD Premiere.
Yeah, they didn't put this in theaters or anything. It went straight to DVD.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So one little thing I wanted to point out is how elder millennial / zillennial this film is. Like,
very.
Yeah.
Freaking
it brought me back.
All they had to say was that Tamagotchi line, and I was like, well, all right.
Yeah.
That dates it exactly.
Yeah, that and the fact that they were still using it. I'm like, wait a minute. This was 2000, right?
2000,
yeah.
So,
so of course there was probably 98, 99 when they were filming it and stuff.
When did Tamagotchis come out? Because I remember them being like,
yeah.
okay. Because I remember them being like a big thing when I was a kid, and then they quickly disappeared.
Yes.
Like they were just gone.
By the time this movie came out, there weren't even whatever. Like if you were using that, people were looking at you sideways.
Yeah.
So you can find this movie streaming where?
Tubi.
Where it had one of the worst commercial breaks.
Oh my God, no.
That is the worst.
So, may I?
Go ahead.
During and of course, spoilers. If you don't know about the show, we spoil so that we can better explain why we didn't like the film or what our decision is. Eventually, we're going to tell you whether we would keep it, stream it, or skip it. But anyways, without further ado, there was a commercial break where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson interrupted the scene in the middle of Busy's Busy Phillips's
Rape scene.
Yeah, the rape scene there, which is she plays a character Karen, and she's bent over a limo hood while the limo driver just kind of stares. But what's weird is I was looking at the limo driver's expression, like he's just.
I looked at that too. I was like, he was like a robot. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that is not the first time it happened.
No, but it also is still not it's not a reaction. Like it's just like he's just staring. Like it just, I don't know. We're not on video, but just imagine just somebody wide-eyed but not surprised, just wide-eyed for no reason.
Yeah, I think you should keep doing that face with no commentary, no sound.
Yeah, there you go.
It just zooms in slowly onto his face as like the scene is happening, and you're just like, okay.
What? I feel like that would have been more comfortable for me than watching what actually happened and then having it cut halfway by the ad.
Yeah.
And then the ad ends to come back to that horrible scene.
Yeah.
What was he advertising? It was something like some sort of banking app or savings? Oh, Acorn.
Acorn.
Yeah, savings app.
So of course, like it's like do. Okay, this is happening. Break. Okay, now we're talking about Acorn. So your mind's starting.
He's just in a yard, like he's in a park, just talking about
backyard.
this app. Yeah.
And I feel like there was just a heavy silence between the three of us, going, "What the fuck?" Like, first of all, the scene is heavy, and then we're just watching, we're just staring at Dwayne The Rock Johnson with all of our trauma that we just
I feel like
carried with us.
And the other thing is, what bothered me is like, there's no way that Dwayne The Rock Johnson uses that app. He has more money. No,
he doesn't need to save.
Yeah. He's got a manager for that.
I'm sorry, no.
His name is Tom Acorn, apparently.
Yeah.
So
that reminds me of that little character from Animal Crossing. You know what I'm talking about? Tom Nook, and you pay in like acorns and stuff.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you
like
go.
There's like that's the whole like logo is an acorn.
I never.
And his
even
name
played
is Tom.
Yeah, I haven't played Animal Crossing.
Aw, well now you should.
Yeah, now I kind of want. I'll name my character Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
There you go.
Yes.
All right, so
this is totally about the movie review now. So, all right, we have two groups of friends. We have the girls and we have the guys, and we're focusing on the girls, right?
Right. So in the movie, it opens up with the girls giving Lisa this, the typical version of the group tampon advice. Oh, this is how you insert it, da da da. But then she doesn't and throws it in the toilet, flushes it down the toilet.
Fucking idiot.
Because she's an innocent girl.
She is the only one. The only one.
Yeah.
And the reason why we have those signs in girls' bathrooms that are like, please don't flush your tampon. And you're like, well, no shit. She's why. She's that shit.
Yeah.
So Carrie Pratt is a character actor, isn't she? Because I've never seen her play anything but the quiet, like.
Yeah, she's always plays the quiet ones. That is like, oh, look at me, I'm the girl next door, I'm the virgin.
She's like,
she's got the face for it.
Oh yeah. She does like always the Christian thing. Because she's been in like the Christian girl in another one too.
Mm-hmm.
She reminded me of Amanda
Bynes.
Bynes in Easy A.
Oh
yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got.
But
like. I liked Amanda Bynes' character more. Lisa just pissed me off.
She's
but like
annoying.
The next scene is like she's in bed with her boyfriend David, and she's like, oh, shut off all the lights, and then he shuts off all the lights, and then she's like, oh, do you have a candle?
Light a candle.
Don't you have a candle?
He's like, sure.
I'm a man.
He just like lights a Slim Jim.
I have a match.
It's jerky smell. I don't know. He pulled out something. He lit it. Well, it's because she's a virgin, and then she's on her period, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't," because they're already like just about to do it, and then she tells him.
Yeah, that's a weird move.
Yeah, it's like, why don't you just let him know, like, hey, I don't mind if you don't mind, but this is it, instead of waiting there. But then he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. But then this is in between Karen, Busy's character, banging on the window because they're going to set off the fire alarm, For what was the reason for that?
Well, because they were caught. They were going to get caught out of bed, out of curfew.
Oh,
so
right,
they
right.
were trying to light the fire thing so then they can sneak out.
Have an excuse.
Oh, yeah, they were
I
getting
think.
caught, and then they didn't want her to get caught. They were supposed to be
Right.
friends looking out for each other. Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that scene when he was about to like slide in, right? And then they banged on the window, and then he like turned back and then just did it once. Was
Yeah,
like,
he
yeah,
did.
fuck it, and went for it. And then she was like, why did you do that?
I'm on my period.
This is my first time. And he I feel like it was like a freaking when a dog pees on a thing, you know, he was like,
Right.
once. All right, I'll save the rest for later.
But her reaction was so unnatural. That's the thing, too. It's like, why did you do that?
Why did you do
It was
that?
almost like, you know,
It's
I
like,
don't know.
isn't it obvious you're like in his bed, pretty much half naked? Or,
Honestly, though.
you know, like, what
Why-
did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, but why did he? Like,
yeah, why did he? When she's like, Karen's bearing on the wing. You know,
He knew they weren't going to be able to have sex, so he just wanted to like do it once and quick to get her virginity gone, and then be like, "All
what
right."
do you think, Nick? Why do you think he did it? You're a guy.
I don't know why. Like, there's so many things that said don't. Like Karen banging on the window would have been, that's it. It's ixnayed. And then the fact that she's on her period, and I was like, yeah. I mean, back then you were willing to do some things that you probably didn't want to do, but you did them anyways, just to go for it because you're a horn dog, and all your male hormones are like, do it. And so that's not the thing. But when he got out, I just kept on thinking, like, dude, I know there's blood everywhere there. And you just smeared it on the comforter. Now you're coming out. It smells like rusty nails. And you were, what are you doing? There's so many things going on. Now, I don't know. I'm different from other guys because of my smells. I got a big nose. I can smell a lot of things very distinctly.
Yeah, you
and
can.
so all this stuff is running through my mind of
I feel
things that I
awkward.
would not want to do and deal with, which would prevent me from doing said thing that he did.
Moving on.
You asked.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so then they go to a bar.
Jeez.
I got too much information.
Okay, so they're actually
Thanks, Morty.
Jeez, Rick.
there are three girls who go to this boarding school in the Midwest. Okay, and so they end up at a bar for some reason.
Yeah. Wisconsin. They allow their teenagers to go to bars back in 2000.
But then I guess if you think about it, maybe they're trying to play the angle of, oh, they're rich, so
That's true.
therefore rules don't apply to them.
Can we describe the
They all-
characters real quick so people
Okay.
get an idea? Like, okay, Karen. What is Karen to everybody?
Trouble.
Wild.
She's like the wild child, right? She looks like she jumped out of the Spice Girls music video, and you know.
Yeah.
Right. Her exterior is that she doesn't give a shit about anything.
Yeah. Which is
Yes.
obviously huge defense mechanism.
Right.
Jefferson, who's one of the girls.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
putting it out there. Played by Dominique Swain. She was the most stable until.
And
Yeah,
I feel
until
like
that-
she was
until
more
that one
grounded
comment.
than the most of them.
Yeah.
Because at least she kind of had a little bit of reality. The only problem is that like her parents obviously are never around and don't care because they didn't even show up to the parents' weekend.
Oh my God, that's what Frank Ocean was saying in his song "Super Rich Kids."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no parents. Anywho, continue. Sorry.
Even though like some people are like, yes, no parents, but when you really think about it, if they're never around,
you got the one who's trying extra hard to like. I mean, I guess she's not trying super hard, but she's doing her best. And then you got the sister who's just fucking
Plays Russian roulette with somebody else's head.
Yeah, literally.
and
yeah.
her sister is played by Thora Birch.
Yeah.
And she kind of sold that part
From Hocus
that she was
Pocus.
crazy.
So we already know about Lisa. She's the reserved one. That's like the Christian, and she doesn't overtly say it, but she always wears a golden cross, so you kind of know.
Well,
Yeah.
then like when the parents came for parents' weekend,
The worst actors.
I'm so upset with you.
Dabs
about
her lower cheek, like, like oh.
Yeah, and he's like, what, 70 years old in this?
Yeah, he
And
looks
she
about
is
70.
35 maybe, his wife, and then
Well, I mean, if he has a lot of money.
that's what it seems like
Yeah.
they're alluding to, and then he really cares about paying for the fries later on. It's a pivotal plot point.
Oh my God.
Oh, because he's rich. Because some people, Because if you think about it, some of the most stingiest people are the rich people.
Are the rich people.
Well,
for
yeah,
sure.
but it's just the line delivery he had at the table, the restaurant, when he's just like, but I didn't know the fries would be separate. The fries I would expect to be included.
I didn't know they would be separate.
What is this? And then you would flip over to the Jeff. What is it? Yeah, Jeff. No. Jeremy's parents.
Yeah.
And they're so natural. The actors were great.
Oh my God, they did so great.
And Jeremy is the one that kind of had David Schwimmer vibes.
For sure. Ross.
But better.
But better.
Yeah,
better.
Yeah, because Ross is not a green flag.
I would 100% be Jeremy's friend.
Yeah, Jeremy
Jeremy's
is
a
green
really good
flag. Ross is definitely not.
No.
Yeah. And any guy who says, "Oh, I'm definitely a Jeremy," red flag.
Yeah.
Because you're not a Jeremy if you're saying I'm definitely a Jeremy.
And then there was Brad.
Who?
Dan.
Brad.
Dan.
It's his
I knew exactly what you're talking about because he's a Brad.
Yeah.
What?
He is a Brad, but
He is a Brad.
his name is Dan.
That's
Okay,
so
his name is
freaking
Dan.
funny.
At least you knew what I was talking about.
Oh, yeah, because I was
Yeah.
like, he
I was
is
like,
kind of a Brad.
Who the fuck did I miss in this movie named Brad?
It's played by Ryan Browning. He's basically
The typical douchebag.
yeah, over the top horn dog. He after well, we'll get to the plot point about his shirt, but and then David is the ambitious guy who's running for class president and all this other stuff, played by Oliver Hudson, who is
Who's who? No, just kidding. Goldie Hawn's and her first husband, I can't remember his first name, son. So then therefore he's half sibling. No, he's siblings to Kate Hudson.
yeah, and half to Wyatt Russell, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he also plays the firefighter dad who's already dead in Christmas Chronicles. So it was like a whole family affair. So Christmas Chronicles is a Nepo film, and you shouldn't support it, even though it's actually really good. No, you should support it.
So
It's a great
support it
film.
because it's a
I
really
love it.
good film.
Yeah, the second one, not so much,
Chronicles,
but the
this is that
first
one
one's
with
good.
with Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I really did enjoy it. It's starting to
All
slowly
right, so
become a
they're
staple.
at the bar because that's where we left off, right? They're at the bar.
Yeah, there's bar, and then the guy with Tahiti.
Right, and then so they're, having drinks, having fun, and Karen overhears a guy talking about, something with Tahiti.
Booking a flight
to Tahiti. And it was funny because Nick was like, yeah, it was probably to an empty call.
Oh,
Because he knew that she was...
It's a move. It's a move.
Oh, it would work.
So then, of course, Karen's like, ooh,
Because she's an idiot.
Tahiti.
Yeah.
She is a wild child, fucking idiot. I don't know how she wasn't murdered. I thought that's the path that this was going on, was that she would be like killed by one of these dudes because she's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you sure that wasn't a hope?
Well, maybe. I honestly thought
Only if they took Lisa with her.
Yeah. Yes. No, I thought like she had the most insane plans later on, obviously, with the gun and whatnot. I swear to God, somebody was going to like manhandle that out of her and kill her.
Yeah. No, there was definitely that feeling. So they're at the bar. She goes ahead and she leaves with the guy in the limo because he has a limo. Sorry about that. He has a limo. So he's playing it as much as he's laying it down. And so they sleep with each other in the limo. He doesn't even take her to a hotel or his room because he's married. Tells her that. Okay. And she's like, well, first she asks for his number, then finds out he's married. Then she writes her number on his hand.
And meanwhile, but she's mad. Hold all this mad face, like she didn't know that like there was something red flaggy about him.
Yeah, the guy who looks like Gordon Gekko, basically reject of that,
Right. On a bar where obviously high school kids hang out.
Oh, yeah, obviously. And they're
Yeah.
like, let's play the cigarette game. And he's all like, what's the cigarette game? I'm like, because you're 40. Because you're 40. That's a red flag for you to leave. Like, you obviously are going after... Now, they never say what their ages are, but guarantee they're below 18.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're in a boarding school, and it's not even college, it's high school.
Yeah.
And they're seniors, so you would say that they were like 17 18.
Maybe.
They're all smoking, so somebody probably is 18 in there that keeps on buying the cigarettes for everybody, and they just don't question it because nobody really
right. And this was back when you could buy the cigarettes at 18.
Yeah, most states, or all states, I should say. But
oh my God, that's right. You can't do that anymore, can you? It's like 21 now, isn't it?
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
You're a fucking adult. Whatever. When are you going to be an adult in the United States? This is why Europe looks at us and goes, you're morons.
You're
you know that?
Joke.
Just inform people. Let them know this is what happens if you do this. Let's try to cure cancer and move on. But no, let's restrict everything to 21 and over. But you can go right over, do porn, or join over to the military and get your ass shot. But hey, let's not have cigarettes involved.
But I think they're actually trying to push the porn age up too.
The what? Which it?
People in porn too. I think they're trying to push.
You know what? The Christian right won't allow that.
For real? Wow.
Who's doing that?
Either that or strip clubs.
Well, probably strip clubs. But I mean, I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't doubt it in the background. Like the Christian right's like, no, can we not do that, please?
They're like, wait. It's gone too far.
Yeah.
Don't take our porn.
I mean, just look at what happened with Grindr when the RNC was doing their thing.
Because all of their women are Lisas, all right?
Oh, God,
That's all they get. They need porn.
Why do you keep on... They need Karens.
Why do you... Your group of friends are always hanging out over in this hotel. Why?
Why would you do that?
There's no reason at all. I mean, there's no reason at all.
Okay, so Karen pretty much gets burned by this limo guy, even though it was like, what was she really expecting?
Especially like...
So then she ends up in conversation with the other two and was like, you know what? We need to get our power back. We need to do some shit.
Because she played the cigarette game and got burned.
Oh, no.
Now, I think at that point they were in Jefferson's house, and that's when the gun came into play. Where
gunplay.
All right. Bye, guys. This is fun. This is a great film.
Where Thora Birch was like, let's play Russian roulette with all bullets in the gun except for one.
Oh my
God. It was thankfully on the resting on the empty chamber. It's an old school way of doing things because it used to be that if you dropped a revolver, it would just go off because the hammer's resting on the firing pin and also bumping into it and hitting the primer of the bullet. But anyway, luckily that's what was there because nowadays most people just load up all cylinders.
Weird. See, no. Yeah.
Yeah. She pointed at Karen and just was like, click. Ha ha. Now you do
it's
me.
Your turn. Turn it to me. And if Karen had brains.
Yeah, it'd be the end.
Yeah.
The smokers. Or them just hiding the body, and that's the entire film. Dark comedy.
True. So Karen has this great idea to get the power back and give it back to the women by raping a guy. And what specific guy? David, Lisa's boyfriend.
Which Lisa was consenting to and participating in.
Yep.
Because she thinks he slept with this girl when he actually didn't. And matter of fact said, no, he flirted with her, but he's like, no, I got a girlfriend. I'm not doing this.
Right. I mean, to be fair, he is a dude. She's like, I'm probably going to regret this later. I'm going to regret saying no to you.
Well, wait. It's true, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He will regret it. He will.
For sure.
I'm telling you from a guy's perspective.
Oh, my God.
So then, of course, like you have this like little montage of the girls going and buy these outfits so they could, rape him. One was a bunny, like had a bunny mask on.
With a welding helmet.
A welding helmet. And then I couldn't really...
A mouse. I think it was a mouse.
It's like a mouse or like it looked like a plague mask and a mouse and a cat had a baby.
Yeah. It was the weirdest one for sure. Right. It looked like a mouse with cheese for whiskers. Cheese whiskers.
So then, of course, they're in, some kind of thing in school, like in the chapel, like singing the hymns or whatever. And David gets this note from the mystery woman at the bar. Bambi, saying, oh, meet me back in the barns or something at like midnight.
Meet me in the silo.
Yeah, it was all like, it was a silo of corn. Not even shucked corn, just corn. So I was like, oh no, he's going to get cornholed.
Right. And I'm guessing like because he's a teenage boy and he wasn't really thinking with, his head.
He was thinking with his corn.
Right. Why the hell would Bambi be in the chapel sending him notes?
I'm just trying to get shucked up in Wisconsin, okay?
That's their phrase. He walked in and that happened. He went, oh, shucks. Thank you. And this is what I was talking about last episode. You wouldn't have heard it. Anyhow.
So then they ambush him as he goes through this like silo thing in the cage.
Yeah, let's beat him and then They try
to sleep with him at gunpoint.
Nobody. First of all, because of everything going on, he's not getting hard. And they're like, "Oh, you can't get it up!" Like they're yelling at him, like this is a situation that'd be totally normal for him to get it up. I'm like,
God.
It'd be a bigger red flag if he did,
right? Like he's not Dan.
Oh my God!
Can't wait to get to that next part.
Well, and then like, I don't know. I'm not a guy, but I'm pretty sure if you're sitting there saying, "Get it up."
It's not happening. No, it's all the turnoffs. It's not. Yeah, it's not like a death game.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically and then not only that, but he's definitely not wearing his best boxers because it's like military issued boxers that he has on.
Yeah.
So they pull down his pants to basically see shorts and.
Yeah.
And they don't even they don't even take out his tallywhack or anything. Nobody wants to touch him. Nobody wants to do anything. And so it ends up being a kind of clumsy sexual assault, I guess.
Because then Lisa just like kind of sits on him for a little bit and then gets off.
Well, not even Lisa. It was Jefferson.
Oh, it was Jefferson, wasn't it?
Lisa was standing in the back.
Lisa came over at some point and sat on him.
Which, by the way, she has such a distinctive, all of them have a distinctive voice, but Karen and Lisa especially, that how do you not know?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take that.
Yeah, because then the next day, like later on, you see, after it's all said and done, they're like, oh, laughing and, fooling around. They let him go.
Mind you, this is her birthday pic. I just want to point that out. So I'm a little scared here that I'm married to her. And that's her birthday pic.
Well, it was one of those movies I haven't seen in a very long time. And then I saw it on TV. And then I was like, ooh, let's watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Happy birthday. Here's some sexual assault. Thanks, Sam.
Well, guys, if you don't hear from me and I'm left in a corncob pile.
Aw, shucks.
So anyway, he goes back to his dorm, and the guys are like all hanging around, and Brad. Damn, why do I want to call him Brad? Dan,
Such a Brad.
Dan is there, and
David.
David was like, all looking sad and forlorn, and he's like, "Oh, got lucky, huh?"
And
he's like, "I don't want to talk about it."
Which is so funny because I feel like that definitely is like, you got your women who are like, "Oh my gosh, how did it go?" And you're like, "No, I don't want to talk about it. That was a horrible experience."
Yeah, if I'm telling you right now, that's the only thing that was super unrealistic. Guy'd be like, "Dude, let me tell you, I just had 3 girls try to attempt to rape me. Apparently, I guess. And they had a gun, and there's like 3 of them." And I don't know what happened. I just, it's weird. Okay, it's weird. And then you just like get a drink and just sit back. They're like, so tell me the details. All right. So one had a rap mask and it kind of sounded like Lisa. Oh, and that's what should have happened because that's exactly what would have happened.
Exactly. And so Dan's like, oh, okay. So I don't even remember how he found out about it.
Well, he just told him. He's like, well, this is what happened because he wouldn't let it go, but he also wouldn't leave. Almost like if you just ask me 2 more times.
If you ask,
me 2 more times, I'll tell you everything.
Yeah. And I get the theme of the movie was trying to say like, look, guys, understand this is kind of what women go through. But at the same token, I'm like, yeah, this didn't really land the way it should have.
No.
And then you had, especially with our quote unquote Dan Brad, who essentially was like, I've been whipped, and he's like, you could see he's getting turned on talking about it, like I've been whipped. I've had this.
I've been handcuffed.
I've never been raped. Oh.
And then he goes to a bar with a white shirt and he wrote all over it, "Rape me."
Yeah, like his
rape
Nirvana
me
song.
too. Yeah. Like, no.
And it's
Dan.
like, when you're asking for it, Dan, it's not going to happen.
Oh my God.
It's so wrong on so many levels.
It is.
But that was a genuine guy insensitive reaction. I could see that 100% happening.
Right. He doesn't understand what rape is. He's just like,
He's
all
like,
right.
Oh, just these women want me and, are willing to do anything.
Yeah.
To get
That's okay. That's okay. One of those ladies are going to blow his mind later on. So,
So then afterwards, the girls are discussing what just went on. And I remember you talking about the hat.
The hat?
Oh, the big furry hat.
Oh, the big furry
hat.
The
chicken hat.
Oh, the chicken hat.
That's right.
We're both picturing a freaking Jefferson's big furry hat. But no, the chicken hat.
So go ahead and explain the chicken hat.
Was too hard.
They Go ahead.
Well, they when they were like assaulting him, they put a chicken hat on him.
That's where the comedy comes
This
from.
would be terrible if it was a woman, but this is hilarious because I hate to say it, there's kind of a little bit of a double standard in this movie here. I mean,
with the chicken hat.
Yeah, was it even explained why she put the chicken hat on?
No, but man, she was so distraught afterwards about that chicken hat. She was like, guys, I think the chicken hat was too far. I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
it wasn't the gun.
We pointed a gun at him, tried to rape him, but I really think it was the chicken hat.
He really didn't like the chicken hat, I think. Like, she kept on saying that.
He really didn't like it.
And I think it was supposed to come off of her being traumatized by witnessing the event, but it came off comedic. Which is why I think this is so misgenred, I guess, if that was a thing.
It's genred as a comedy.
Yeah, but there's no comedy, really.
Well, it's a dark comedy.
What I would think is, my opinion...
we're sitting here laughing about it.
I mean, we are.
Because I don't think that's the parts they want us to laugh at.
I'm very curious on because I feel like it's a weird kind of like comedy, like they tried to do like sitcom comedy whatever with some like heavy hitting moments, but I feel like they really didn't know how to put those in there correctly, and so every time
like
they came up, like they would be like, okay, so play some music, oh my god, or like when they're walking away from that encounter later on with Karen and Jeremy, and then they're just like, what were they playing? Freaking Shania Twain in the background. Like, I know that's not what it was, but that's what it sounded like as they're walking away after this like heavy moment. They're like, the best thing about being a woman, like that vibe as they're walking down the street.
In shame.
Like, no.
That's the funny part. In shame.
In shame. They're like, this is a bad moment. Oh, geez.
Right, because then they fast forward, they're at a party, and then Karen asks for Jefferson's like hat,
fuzzy hat.
Something.
There's the fuzzy hat,
and so she like Jeremy goes out of the party. Jeremy is infatuated with Jefferson. Okay, and so they go out, and she runs past Jeremy. Now, obviously, he couldn't see her face, so he thought Jefferson.
I'm so sorry. That is a freaking hilarious thing that happened because she like flew past, like she was like using the jacket as a cape, and he's like, Jefferson? And then he like slowly starts walking, like, bro, what was that?
Whenever have you seen Jefferson act that way?
Never. And if you did, I would probably be walking a little faster. I'd be concerned. I'd be like, hey, that's weird.
Right.
No. Let me just walk towards it. And why was it in a taxidermy building? Why was that specific? They like zoomed in on the sign, and I was like, oh my God, Karen's gonna stuff him. No.
Yeah. And then there's that instant. Okay, so now Jefferson, basically, so Karen goes ahead with the gun, points it out, and says, you're gonna munch my muffin.
He's like, what?
And he's like, well, at first he's like, no, and then she points the gun at him, and then he's like, I just can't.
Here's the thing. As a guy, I know exactly what's going through his mind. It's like, your disease probably nah.
It's a nah.
Like, yeah, man. Like, I feel like I'm gonna catch something that's gonna make me itch.
Was I the only one who I really didn't like that guy's acting? Jeremy. I thought like he was a nice guy, like his character was really nice. I hated his line delivery. Every single line he said, I was like, this doesn't
it's
sound
college
natural.
play, like community college play type of delivery, it felt like. And like he's still practicing to get into something bigger. At least that's how it felt to me. Especially with a lot of blinking. Like you could tell they're trying to remember the line.
Right. I was just like, this feels very amateur. Like he specifically felt very like amateur actor, didn't really know what he was doing with his line delivery.
Yeah. I think we just segued from screenplay. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Are we just...
we haven't talked about screenplay at all, but I just wanted to like throw that in there about that scene specifically. I was like,
I know, I'm just making sure where I was at. I'm like, did I lose myself?
No.
We're still talking about the screenplay. We haven't gotten to the ratings.
Because we got the plot and everything for screenplay and we're going through. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good point. Good. I'm not lost. So eventually he convinces Karen, like, hey, chill out. This isn't good. This isn't something you should do. And she realizes, this isn't something I should do. But then she still acts like a complete idiot.
Well, but then that's when he found out that she, maybe not her, she was one of the ones who attempted to rape.
Through the gun. She's like, they put two and two together, which was interesting. I was like, That's some good inferencing skills there, Jeremy.
Right, because a lot of guys are not that smart.
No. I would have been done and been like, gun? Someone told me about a gun rape. Not her. Like
Can't
at that
be
age,
her.
wouldn't have not have put that together.
Right. So, but then of course she's like, you can't say anything because Jefferson will be in trouble because it's her gun. And like, Jeremy's like, what? She was in on this too?
What? Oh, there's 3 girls that I was told about, and there are 3 girls that hang out together all the time. And
With you, Karen, and they did not have a thing in there?
Yeah, that was the stupid moment of being like, oh, Karen was one of these people, but couldn't have been the other 2. They always hang out with her 24/7.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Couldn't have been the third one, though.
No.
Well, if you think of Lisa, though, I would have been like, nah. Not that one that goes.
I mean, true.
It's so funny, though. She had the rabbit mask. That's what's.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
I make a bunny.
I'm like a pure little bunny rabbit.
So then Karen pretends that her and Jeremy have something going on because of course like Jefferson doesn't particularly like this guy just as a friend.
See, this is where I find the screenplay to be interesting because you start seeing the development of not only the sexual assault, almost rape, of flipping the script on men, but also the way men are like women are treated by guys where they say, oh, well, you didn't screw with me. Well, I'll tell everybody you did anyway.
Yeah. Because at some point, what's his name? Dan.
Dan.
Brad.
Dan Brad.
Supposedly, well, he went around saying that he slept with Jefferson, right?
No.
Well, didn't she say
the girl from the bar? He said he did, but he didn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought
Bambi or whatever.
Yeah. He told Lisa that, and then Lisa told the friends. That's how we know, because she told the friends that she was told that by him.
Right. About Bambi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And David.
This was your movie. No, I was kidding.
Very good. Excuse me.
I did like that we had to pause a couple of times to play catch up, mainly me, because I was like, wait, just to clarify, is this what's going on right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna comment on that once we're done with the whole plot line.
Okay, so then there was a little jealousy that happened because now Jefferson's like, oh, you like Jeremy? And then she's like, oh, now I'm jealous that you like Jeremy, even though I wanted nothing to do with him. But let's face it, that's what happened. I don't know if it happens these days, but that's what happened in the 2000s. You know, it was like, oh, you have something that I don't want. Well, I want it now.
Yeah. Now I want it.
I feel like it still exists.
Okay.
A toxic type of personality
Yes.
relationship, but territorial.
I definitely knew people like that in high school.
Yeah.
They were like, oh.
Sometimes they grow out of it, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
So then Karen, and I don't even know how they got started on the cowboy thing, but Karen's like, oh, you should. Oh, didn't Jefferson go like on a date with that cowboy guy from the bar? And so then they go on the date. She tries to like, get in his pants. He's like, no, we should take it slow. We shouldn't do this. And then she got all offended because apparently she thinks that Karen and Jeremy are having sex, and she wanted to have sex with this cowboy guy. So she gets convinced. She gets talked into bringing the gun to this I don't even know what the cowboy's name is.
I don't remember either. Were we ever given a name for that guy?
Call him Curtis.
Okay, Curtis.
Cowboy Curtis.
Cowboy Curtis.
Like in Pee Wee Herman's.
So then she goes back with the gun intending to rape him or try to attempt to rape him. And she gets a little surprise of her own. And no, it's not his penis.
Called it. Just want to say that.
Her line though.
So
this is when it was.
This was like
so sad.
Oh, so we were all like, oh, Jefferson's the most stable. We like Jefferson. Yeah. Go Jefferson. And then she says the worst line in history of lines. As soon as she finds out that he's gay.
You have AIDS?
And it was like, what the fuck?
Oh, we all just went, oh.
Yeah.
No.
We were left with Jeremy.
No more Jefferson.
No. Jefferson,
You're
no.
done.
Yeah, and it was just like total assumption. Like she's like, "Oh, he's gay. You have AIDS?" Like, no,
because like that's not what would be the first thing out of my mouth. My
like,
first thing would be like, "Oh,
you're gay,"
and not even like shocked and surprised like she was, because like she obviously was like not expecting that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. My God.
Except for anybody who's ever seen a gay cowboy.
Yeah.
Well, what was the movie?
Oh, you're talking about Brokeback? No, I was just talking about regular old porn. I was like, he looks like a gay porno actor who's dressed as a cowboy.
Like, yeah.
Because all he had was...
I think you're the only one out here watching gay cowboy porn.
That's what just looks like it. Are you?
Burst your bubble,
of all the people who are bashing, now that I am, but I'm saying there's nothing wrong with that.
Sam,
turning into a Seinfeld episode.
You're hearing yeehaw, click.
Yeehaw, then click. What's wrong, honey? What's going on? Damn it, I thought my headphones were on.
Okay, so then that happens, and then
it was the hat.
Karen.
The brim is bent.
You've seen it before.
Yeah. Go down to Miami or Keys?
Oh, no, that's not where. Click.
That's not where.
Sorry, please continue.
All right, so Karen then gets a phone call from the limo guy, and he's like, "Oh, let me take you out. Let me pick you up." And she has this idea in her head, and maybe it's because she's a teenager, and she has this idea in her head like, "Oh, he's going to take me out to dinner. He's going to treat me well. He's going to be like my knight in shining armor. We're going to get married, Well, she was in for a surprise.
A horrible surprise.
So she gets into the limo, and right away he's like, "Oh, here's a drink." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And then he's like unbuttoning his pants, and she's like, "Wait, what? You're not taking me to dinner first?" And he's like, "No, you kind of know why I called you for, right?" Well, she apparently did not think about that when she called him.
Yeah.
Which
when he called her.
I don't know how she wasn't murdered.
Yeah, she tried to kill him, but the revolver's loaded because she here's the problem. Jefferson, when she brought the gun, the guy took the gun from her and unloaded it. Then gave it back to her. Jefferson never told Karen that. So when she took the gun, it was empty. And so
she tried to pull out the gun and be like, "Get the fuck off me." And of course, click, click, click. Oh my God, there's no bullets in here. So she somehow gets out of she somehow opens up the limo door and falls out of the limo, and you're like, "Oh, okay, he's just going to drive away." Which, no, he didn't. He had the limo driver back up. He got out of the car, and she's like, "No, get away from me." And that's where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson comes into play.
Saving the day, really, because we needed a minute.
It's just the limo driver. I don't understand the face of the limo driver.
Listen, that was just like, oh my God, a chilling, horrible, horrible scene to just watch.
Well, the thing is, it took me out of it because I was sitting there going, the limo driver is making no expression. Like, he's just sitting there going, huh.
It's like
I was waiting for him to turn on the windshield wipers. Like, God damn it!
It's like he wasn't there. It's like that they had filmed two separate shots or something and overlaid them or something. Like he didn't look like he saw anything that was going on. He was just told, you're driving the car, and he's like, okay, he's still driving the car,
right? Or either that, or he didn't want to see it because he didn't want to,
Not with that look though. It was just like.
Maybe he enjoyed it.
Well, there was not even a face of enjoyment. It was nothing.
Okay.
It was just like
nothing.
blank
face.
I guess.
Yeah.
I wasn't even looking at.
It looked like he hadn't been told to start acting yet. He was in wait mode. He was waiting.
The other thing is too is if the scene itself is basically just, and this is why I was so hyper focused on the limo driver. It's just him and her. If you notice, there's no him. There's no guy that was in the limo behind her. So what they did for the shot to make it less troublesome is that they framed the scene with the limo driver poorly looking weird, and then her just shoving herself against the limo to insinuate the action, and then Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson telling us about Acorn.
While we all just kind of stare like, huh.
which made it.
Why?
Yeah, it just.
Oh, no.
Now there's an association of limo driving.
Right.
Oh,
rape,
no.
and Dwayne
Every
The Rock
time I
Johnson.
see
There's a
Acorn, I'm going to be like,
commercial.
no.
Yeah, good job, Acorn. You know,
Because
might want to
then-
ask
Yeah.
Tubi when you put in a break.
Because then again, once it comes back on, she's still getting
She's
raped.
still getting raped. Oh my
Yeah.
God. That was like the worst part of the movie to put a commercial in, just like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Like, listen,
Right.
if you want to put a commercial like right after that scene, fantastic. I applaud you for that. Like, okay, give us a minute to digest what we just watched. But
Right.
in the middle, so we have to go back to it when the commercial's over.
It reminds me
Yeah.
of Burger King with when that one football player got a major spinal injury, and they played the Burger King commercial, and they're like, "Oh man, we got to cut to break. We're not going to show you this." And then all of a sudden, it's like Whopper, 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 and then it's like, oh my God.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah, everybody was talking about it.
Whopper, Whopper,
That's the equivalent of
Whopper.
it, you know, as far as insensitivity. Except this, you know, NFL actually happened, and we're not talking about acting. But, anyways,
Although
let's move on.
Okay, so
Yeah,
then,
please.
of course, Karen, you know, is now going through shit because she didn't expect to get raped, and now she was raped. So she was getting it from the other end, you know.
Just real quick, imagine if we had sponsorship with Acorn, and right in the middle of our discussion of this, it interrupts.
It like interrupts. Oh my God, we would have to do that, right? Like interrupt with Acorn.
And Dwayne The Rock
Hold on.
Johnson shows up.
Let me DM Dwayne The Rock Johnson right now and be like, yo, buddy, we need an Acorn sponsorship right now. Just for one episode. Just for one episode, please.
Right,
We'll slot it in for free. How about
Yeah.
that? Just for this
Yeah,
one
just for
episode.
free. Yeah.
right.
12 people will listen to it.
So then, of course, so after she like goes to Lisa and's like, oh, boo-hoo, I'm crying. They didn't really show too much of it.
The trauma of her crying was, boo.
Cry me a river.
I feel like there's more comedy in the
else
review than
Do you
there is.
Oh,
want me to
jeez.
say?
I know. It's just funny how it was.
Sometimes we gotta take this with a little bit of humor.
Okay, so
We trigger warned you all.
next scene is them at the prom, and this is where shit goes down.
Oh, yeah.
Lots
Yeah,
of
so
shit.
they're all dancing and everything. Everything's starting to get nipped in the bud. Everybody's got their own thing. Not everybody's got a super happy ending, but everybody's with somebody. But strangely, Lisa is with Brad, a.k.a. Dan.
Dan.
The real character name is Dan. And they decided to go to the
Brad.
back hall.
And he like whispers something to her in her ear, and then she follows him to the back hall, and there.
Well, okay, I gotta tell you. So this is
Yeah.
where, like, at first he's like, you know, he's gonna take her from behind. So she turns around, he's like, not like that. And then so he turns. They're okay. So he's like, all right, no, that's no problem. And because he's still getting laid, he doesn't care. So he props her up, and they start having sex, and it gets a little too hard. Instead of saying like slow down, all of a sudden she's like, no, and she just starts going hog wild, and pulls out a gun. And she's like, stop. And he's like, oh, because he wants to be raped.
Right, and then
so he's thinking, oh,
this is the time. This is the girl.
This
who's
is still
doing
consensual. We're doing some gunplay here, not being a pun about it, just saying that this is what he's thinking. And then she's like, nah, bang, shoots him right in the head,
Nick.
neck, head. Yeah,
I guess your neck is attached to your head, but be more specific, Nick.
it's
Be
right.
specific.
It's in the
I want
left.
to know where he got shot.
Left neck to the chin, up to the back of the cranium, which then took it out because it's a 44 Magnum, and somehow nobody heard the shot.
Thank you.
Well, it was a
You're welcome.
dance.
Was that hard for you?
You apparently really wanted a graphic detail about
were
Brad,
at a-
aka Dan, dying.
I
So-
needed it.
He was a douche.
So they were at a dance with music playing. Of course, they're not going to hear.
Of course, they're
that.
not going to hear a giant
Bang!
bang.
Bang.
Wow, good job.
So somehow,
We just invented the beat
then,
drum.
Well, then what kind of was funny? What was kind of funny was that like she was there, she shot him, and then all of a sudden she just disappeared. Didn't even go by like anybody,
She kind of just passed him by and went, ew.
Yeah.
and like you know,
like there's blood on me and stuff.
like I'm not gonna,
Such a douche, even
yeah.
death.
And
And then-
gross.
And then
a
of
quiet
course like
ones.
somebody finally goes back there, and they realize that somebody's dead, and then the headmaster's like, "Oh, everybody go back to your rooms, and we're going to take attendance in your common rooms." I guess.
It's weird. And then the headmaster woman is saying that she's going to interview them. I'm like, this is not at all what would happen.
No.
But then the girls weren't even there, so they didn't they? This is not where. No, they just grabbed everybody and went back.
Yeah, they went back.
Oh yeah,
to the
because
room.
then they were like,
because
Karen was like,
Karen was like, "Oh, where's the gun?" to Lisa, and she's like,
back
"I put it in your back in your room."
She's like, "Why the fuck would you do that?"
Yeah, why the fuck?
There
would
should
you
have been
do
a
that?
second
But,
murder at that point.
Yeah. So they go upstairs and they grab the gun, right? Because Karen has the gun. And they wipe it down, they grab it, right?
Yeah.
Can we talk about how stupid it is for Karen to be like, I think we should tell the truth? Fuck you. No, this was your idea from the beginning. You're the one who... Jefferson didn't want to give you that gun. You gave it to fucking Lisa. Right. And you should have known what would happen if you gave that gun to Lisa.
Friends don't let friends do gun.
So then they're all waiting to get questioned by the headmaster, because the headmaster was like, "Oh, I'm going to interview every one of you separately."
But really close shots of her face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind
Like
of
upper nostril.
So of course, like, what did the girls do? They're like, "Oh, how do we get out of this? Let's light the fire."
Yeah.
But accidentally
The fire alarm from the
actually
beginning.
light a
The fire alarm.
Yeah.
And then they
Fucking
accidentally
Jefferson.
did that. And then Jefferson.
What did she even do? It looked like they were like, okay, light it, and then
she somehow
fell.
accidentally lit the very flammable curtain.
It was very flammable.
Right, and then somehow she got stuck, because that's why she was doing that.
I love how they
showed.
didn't even show us what was stuck and where. What do you mean?
Right, because then she
Karen's
got
just like, no!
like
Hellfire!
Karen came back to stick her, whatever, and then Karen got stuck or something.
Yeah, like, well, that one was, I think, like some fallen burnt wood from the ceiling. It was like, oh.
Not burning
fell
her,
down.
just enough to, hold her down.
Hold her down.
That's just, we call that the man beam. It's holding her down.
God damn it. That face. Appropriate. Thank you.
So then, of course,
It is appropriate. It's made out of wood.
nope, Jefferson got out. Fire people come in, because now Lisa's like in there with like burning alive.
But also, fucking Jefferson leaves, and they let Jeremy in the burning building.
Yeah.
And then they just stand there in the fucking hallway.
Well,
nobody
holding on to
knows
Jefferson, like,
their fire safety rules. If that fire spread that fucking quick in the bathroom, get out.
women out, men in.
I think that deserved the long pause of us just staring at you for a minute.
Well, it
That's
goes
what
back
you
to the
get.
joke I said. You're like, well, how was he allowed to come in with the firefighters? I'm like, because he's a man.
He's a man.
Man.
Yeah,
He's
but
a
you still
man.
deserve that long, prolonged eye contact.
It fits with the theme. So
then pretty much the movie's over, but then they do like a little epilogue where, Lisa goes off to college and, dates David for like a year and then stops.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize Jefferson was the narrator the whole time. I got to be honest. I was like, she's because she was talking in the beginning. For some reason, I thought it was Karen or
it's a
or
really
like whatever.
weird prequel to How I Met Your Father.
Oh, shit.
So then, of course, they do the little wrap-ups at the end, and then that's the movie.
All right. So that's probably one of the best summaries we've ever given to any movie, and I'm very proud of this.
Go us.
Good job, guys. So everybody else is like, wow, I barely know what the movie's about. And you said there's spoilers, and there definitely was. But I still need to see the film to figure out what the hell you even meant.
Exactly.
This time, you know exactly what happened. So this was your movie, Samantha. So what was your grade on the screenplay?
Okay, the screenplay, I thought it was like a 7.
Okay, 7. All right.
Yeah. I gave it a 5.
Fine.
I mean, I loved the throwback. I mean, I was not.
Throwback for you. But
yeah, throwback. I felt.
We lived it in stereo.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys might be able to relate to it a little bit more than I was like. But I like the Tamagotchi in there. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I gave it a 6 because it was that relatable thing to me. I was like, wow, this is a very hyper realistic, at least in the beginning of the film, where the ins and outs of craziness and what they were doing. I was like, yeah, I remember all those things and the weird personalities where people were just being over the top. I am guilty of that as well. But yeah, it's I don't want to go back. I do not want to go back.
I just thought there were moments throughout where, I mean, it was very helpful that we paused because I felt like there were a lot of times I didn't know what was. I had to like clarify, wait, what is happening right now? Why is like Lisa, why is Lisa going with Dan into this room? I thought she was still dating David. Was that her pushing him off the bed? Was that them breaking up? Like
that was weird.
I know. I felt like there were some plot holes that I was like, huh?
They're already done having sex. She's just sitting there going,
Well, then that's when she realized that she didn't want to be with this guy, even though she
became
just
more
slept with
innocent.
him.
Now, here's the thing: like she became more innocent as she went along, but lost her innocence completely by blowing that guy's head off.
Right.
Nick.
So, neck head. It was a connection. Every time I hear neck, I think you're saying Nick, and I'm like, what?
What, Nick? Stop.
Stop saying my name.
Stop.
I'm trying to do this.
Why would you do that?
I gave it a 6. I gave it an extra point for nostalgia feels, but beyond that,
That's fair.
It was, yeah. All right, direction.
Direction, I gave it a 7.
Mm-hmm. Love it. I also went with a 5.
I gave it a 6.
Wow.
Same. Look at us.
Acting.
7.
I gave it a 4.
So I actually gave it an 8 because when there were times that it shined, it was good. So, for example, with Hudson's acting ability, Oliver Hudson, I think he did fine. The parents at the table, fine. I like them. Carrie Pratt constantly being somebody I would absolutely hate being around.
Yeah, like that's where I gave most of my points to, was because you just hated her so much, but she kept it up. You know what I mean? Yeah. It wasn't like
it was consistent.
Phillips was good.
It was consistent.
You know, Busy Phillips was somebody like, hey, I know people like that.
Yeah,
right. I mean,
Dominique Swain, good. Ryan Browning needs some work. I couldn't tell because if he was directed to do that. Nicholas Loeb, though, yeah, man, I love you, but you got to do some work. At least from that point back then, I'm sure you're better now.
Yeah, I don't know. There were just some moments where I was like, oh, I wrote down specifically after Jeremy speaking, line delivery. And then I went, you know what? No, I think that applies to a lot of people in here. I don't know why they're choosing to deliver the lines the way that they are. And I don't know if that's a direction thing.
That's it.
Or
that's
an acting thing. Yeah. But I didn't like it.
And because it was so up and down, I would say that the direction was very light-handed because when you saw the parents of one and then the parents of the other, it's almost like they knew how to act, but these guys didn't.
Yeah.
So they just did the work for the director themselves.
Right.
I mean, granted, this is a very indie film. I mean, the frame rate on this film is not even 24 frames.
Yeah, because they ended up actually winning an award for the show. They were the best winner award at the New York International Independent Film and Video Festival.
Yeah, because at that time, a theme like that was actually
very unique.
Yeah.
No,
I definitely like the message. It's very like at the very feminist, like you know, we should be taking the power back. Why do they get to do this to us?
Right, and then kind of turning it back and taking it away. Yeah, kind of when she got raped.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and that's just kind of like,
or maybe
that
like
happens.
The message of like, yeah, we have this idea like, why is it so hard to take the power back for ourselves, and then being smacked with reality, which is that this happens all the time to women, and there's really nothing you can do about it.
Well, look at
unfortunately
the Harris campaign right now. And how much misogyny popped out just because, now she's a runner, now we got to use misogyny.
Because she's a woman.
Yeah.
Right.
Were they saying stuff that was anti-man to Biden? No. They just,
No. Yeah.
And then the other thing is it's Kamala, not Harris. It's always, like you say Biden, but you don't say Joe. But when she ran, it's Kamala, not Harris.
Right. Just
oh my God, you're so right.
Just like we
not
say
my
Waltz.
point. That was
we do say Waltz.
We don't
and not Tim, but everyone calls her Kamala instead of Harris.
It's kind of a
I never noticed that
disrespect thing.
Oh my God!
So, and the thing is, I didn't even bring that up. This is something I read about and then realized. So I started saying, "Okay, it's Harris, because I don't want to send that kind of disrespect out." And the other thing is too is that it's hard because everybody's doing it, so you don't realize it, and then it's kind of programmed into you, and then there you go.
It's just the systemic way we treat women in this country.
Like Hillary, not Clinton.
Holy shit.
Oh my God.
That was literally a glass shatter moment for me just right now. Oh my God.
Although
I need a minute.
This is sponsored by BetterHelp.com.
Although
No, I was kidding.
although when Sarah Palin was running, people called her Palin, not Sarah.
I don't think anybody respected her though at all.
But nobody.
I don't know.
Really.
Sarah
I don't.
Palin. I always heard both. I don't think I
Yeah,
ever heard
that's
Palin.
weird. Yeah, that is weird.
I heard
They just
Sarah
said her whole
Palin.
name.
Yeah.
I don't think they just want. I just know nobody respected her at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, for
don't
good
know.
reason. I guess she was.
Wow. Anywho.
All right, back to
I can see my rector from my house.
cinematography.
Whoa. Cinema photography.
I give it a 6.
6.
Uh-huh.
Cool. All right.
5.
5. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
It was those close-up shots
Well-
There were just some shots. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
and some awkward angles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just some.
Some of them are standard, like your standard CW stuff. One thing I wanted to point out, though, going back, I hate to do this. I'm sorry. I forgot to mention it with screenplay, chaotic. That's also why I was like, it seemed really chaotic at points. The other thing is, too, is it going to the theme of things in the screenplay. Check out Full Disclosure. It kind of carries the same themes. It's with Michael Douglas and, oh my gosh, mine just went blank. Demi Moore. So just check that out if you haven't. But anyways, cinematography. Yeah, just 5. I agree with everything you guys pointed out. I usually
It
want to
wasn't
go more and
anything
more.
special. I mean, it wasn't dog crap.
That den mother, though. The den mother was just like...
My face.
Yeah, I'm going to interview all of you.
I'm going to interview
Yes,
all of you.
And where's Han Solo in the Wookiee? Editing.
I give it a 7.
Really? Okay.
I also gave it a 5.
I definitely gave it a 5, especially when she got out of the limousine. That cut was horrible.
Oh, there were so many like bad shots of just,
Yeah.
whoa.
That could
and
be
then,
tied
like,
in cinematography.
Right. Oh, which is why I gave them the same thing.
I didn't see half the things that you guys saw. Like I didn't see that limo driver.
The little limo driver stare. Droning.
So that's probably why I gave it a 7 and not a 5.
Yeah. Well, that's fine because, when it's a movie you enjoy, like me with Mortal Instruments, I was
Like,
like,
the whole time he's like a blind limo driver that somehow is able to drive the car, and that's why he has a blank stare.
oh my God.
He just is like, "Sir, are you done?" "Yeah, we're done here." And he just pulls out his cane, pulls it outside the car. Special effects didn't really have anything except for the gunshot. It did its job. Most likely it was used with an air compressor to make the fake blood splatter, but it really wasn't much. I mean, gore levels. This is a rated R film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. I think there was
No,
fucks
it's
in-
PG.
Yeah. Well, there's no nudity or anything like that. It's hard.
Rated E for everyone.
G, general audience.
Hell of a Mario Kart going.
Hey, I can show this.
I got a blue shell, and you're gonna munch my muffin. Toadstool's like, I don't want to.
All right, so overall, I give it a 7.
Trigger warning for dark jokes. Overall,
I give it a 7.
I gave it a 5.
6. And I did the math. I made sure. Because I was like, oh wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So overall, what do you say? Keep, stream, or skip?
I would say stream it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I stream it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It was
good
a
for
fun
nice
watch, besides some of the darker whatevers, if you're...
Mm-hmm.
I would use this as I would definitely say stream, and I would use it as a way to kind of see the do's and don'ts of filmmaking. It has everything. It's an indie film. You can see people are learning. You see where they did some good things and some things that were not so good. And I think it's a good way to take some notes like, ooh, I shouldn't do that. I caught that. There's things that was like, ooh, that's really good. I should promote that. And so if you're in film school, definitely check this out. It might give you some ideas. And nowadays, it's a lot easier to make better quality cinematography. Just don't forget your audio. There was a lot of looping going on, especially during that weird run. That wasn't a run where people were walking.
Oh,
and walking
my God.
faster than they were running.
Well, and then didn't
That's how they ran back then.
or whatever, and you do it crinkly.
We didn't wog. There was no wogging.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the Phoebe run. It'll
gosh.
stick with me.
So when we come back, we're going to get Samantha's second film pick, and that'll be One Cut of the Dead.
Yay!
Woo!
And we're back after checking out One Cut of the Dead for Samantha and I. It's this, I don't know, third or fourth time.
Yeah,
Easily.
about that.
Of watching it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We love that film.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, so Samantha, you want to? Well, I know Juliana, you're going to do the names.
Yeah, I got it.
And we do apologize ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be an episode without that.
Messing up.
Yeah.
So
Or,
you give us everything with the give us everything but the names, I guess.
All right, so One Cut of the Dead was made in 2017. It is a horror zombie comedy and drama.
Zombie.
And you might be like, how is it all of those? Well, we're going to explain why when we get to the synopsis.
But first, donate at our Patreon. No.
Yes, please do that.
Plug real quick.
Yeah.
All right, and you can find this movie on Shudder. It is a Shudder original. Shudder.
It's on AMC Plus right now. Sometimes they'll
And
throw
so
it
is
on.
Shudder.
Oh, it's on Shudder still?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, because it's Shudder original.
Because you know how sometimes they'll put it on AMC Plus but not Shudder, but then they'll put it on Shudder but not AMC Plus. It's weird. I don't
Yeah.
know. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I try to do it from Shudder before.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just like before we watch it. Anyway, so go ahead, Juliana.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Again, we apologize.
if I do butcher it, it's going to be all on me now. So that's nice.
pressure.
It was
Directed by John Smith.
Yeah. Wow. Written and directed by Shinichiro Ueda, and also written by. Now, this is the one name that I had to look up and had 3 different pronunciations. So, Ryoichi Wada, I think is how you're supposed to say it. And some of the actors that we have in here are Takayuki Hamatsu. We got Yuzuki Akiyama, Harumi Shuhama, and Kazuaki Nagaya. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
You
of
did
the
a great
people in
job.
there. Thank you. I tried. But yeah, they honestly, wow, they did a great job. Watching this the first time, holy smokes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't seen it, don't listen to this. Go watch it first, because
Yeah.
oh my God.
Absolutely.
All right, so it opens up with a girl because they're doing like this film, okay? And it's a zombie horror film. And all it does to do is open it up with this zombie film, and you see all these actors, obviously trying to ward off some zombies. And then you have this crazy director who Nick was like, that's me as a director.
Yeah. Takayuki, I think, did such a great job coming in and being like, the rage.
The rage. Well, just like any good director, tries to get his...
Woo! Woo!
Silence your
It wasn't
phones.
me this time. It wasn't me this time.
God.
We're in it.
we're
You know
gonna
what?
have to-
We're not going to have any grace for you when your phone goes off in the middle of
I have
recording.
Do Not Disturb on. Thank you very much.
The one day you don't, we're going
Right.
to razz
And
you
that's
so
the one
good.
day somebody's
we're gonna
gonna
have to
call
make
you.
rules here that
Yeah.
if your phone goes off during recording, then
We have to take a
you have to
drink.
buy like a round or something for everybody.
Yes. Oh my
Starting
gosh.
So
now.
that's 1, 2, 3.
No, starting now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You just made the rule. You can't.
All right,
just
we need to go
backtrack.
pause. I got to go buy a couple shots. Preemptively, honestly.
So this is from Takeshi.
Yeah, as long as we don't do it near my bedtime alarm, we're going to be fine.
So lame.
I'm like 80 years old. What can I say?
It's all right.
Anyhow, Takayuki Hamatsu did a great job as playing this director who's just...
Crazy.
And oh gosh, watching it the first time, I was like, wow, this director's insane and I love it. Like, that's crazy. And then, later on when you find out, like, he's so soft-hearted and like whatever. Yeah. And then, he's ad-libbing. Oh, what is he doing?
Crying to his daughter's pictures.
Yeah.
Because he wants her to do so well in cinema. And...
Yeah. But she has...
off the first part of the film.
Yeah.
Well, the first film is actually the film.
Yeah, and it's
Right.
actually... It was one take, obviously one cut of the dead. They had to do it 6 times before they perfected it.
Yeah,
The first-
makes
Oh,
sense.
the one
Rehearsal.
cut?
The one cut, they had to do it 6 times.
Wow,
before
I
they
can't imagine
perfected
how
it.
much, like, how shitty that would be because you'd have to stop everything. You would have to like clean up. You would probably have to reset like the next day or something, depending on when it was, because of how much.
All that fake blood.
It took 8 days to shoot, even
just that movie,
just that part of the movie,
right?
So,
and you got to say like this film is not a normal indie film. It's actually from a film school.
Right.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And it was the Enbu Seminar Drama School in Tokyo, and everybody in the film were students. Like,
wow.
There was nobody got paid. Nobody was like hired to be an actor. All those people, every single character was a student at that school.
How much did it cost?
It cost to make, it was $25,000. A lot of that money was crowdsourced from, like different venues and stuff. This is the crazy part. Okay. So released it in Tokyo. What they did was when they were going to perform, promote the film, they were like, oh, anybody who comes in a zombie costume, you got like half off. Mm-hmm. So they got people in the doors like that.
Yeah.
And it ended up making, not just in Tokyo, but just like overall, because then it came to the States in probably 2019, $27 billion.
Wait,
Holy
no.
shit.
No.
27 million. I'm sorry.
My God. Sam.
See, kids,
I was like, I knew this would make sense, but place value matters.
Place value matters.
Okay. Meanwhile, Deadpool and Wolverine's like, we crossed 1 billion. High five.
Okay, so
we got too hyped.
Yeah. So just a little bit under $20 million.
Wow. That is still really impressive.
Earned, what was it, 1,000 times its budget.
Yeah, that's
the
insanity.
Highest budget achievement of any film. Not that should be the judgment of the art, but still, that says something.
Right.
Yeah, that's incredible, honestly. Wow.
We're still reeling over the billion.
I am. I'm like, yeah, that's incredible right there. That's incredible. This movie.
Yeah, they do the whole entire film, and then they go ahead and they roll the credits, and you're like, oh, that's a very short film, and it's only 30 minutes long.
30 minutes long, yeah.
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 But then
I was wondering, you guys were like, okay, it's over. I was like, wow, all right. I mean, shit, that was pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, and then it kept going, and I was like, "What?"
Filmception.
Y'all fucking
and
gaslit me.
They show the
like
the
a 1 month earlier, so they show the inception from the beginning to the end, all the behind the scenes stuff, how it became to fruition, how the mother was because the mother ended up having to step in for the makeup artist. Because I believe she
didn't make it.
Did you hear the excuse?
I forget what it
and
was.
like the guy who played the director were having an affair and got into a car accident on their way to the filming.
Because they were coming together.
Yeah, which is so funny.
And the like now and the director, of course, were already married, and so. It's funny because they show the reason why they decided to do this film, which was a producer showed up to the director and said, hey, we really want to do this thing. Well, let me bring you over to the studio. They go to the studio and they present this idea to do a short zombie film for TV, but it's live and it's one shot, one camera, and one cut. And so at first he's like, that's hilarious. Now, really, what do you want me to do?
It's like, this is a joke, right? Because
what do you really want me to do?
And they're like, really happen.
No, we really want you to do this. He's like, oh. And it shows all the development in a very concise way of the things that you have to deal with.
Right. So he goes home, and then his daughter is actually, she's getting into film work, and she wants to be, probably what her dad is, which is a director. And her biggest thing is that she wants people to cry.
That's our little mascot, Toby, for some reason.
She wants people to cry without using fake tears. So, of course, like, they showed her with this group doing a commercial, whatever, and there's this little girl, and the little girl can't cry, and the mother's like, just let her use the drops or whatever. And the daughter's like, no, we need to do this for real. And she started to try to tell her how to cry, like giving her some kind of PTSD, pretty much, until the mother stepped in and was like, no, this isn't going to happen. And then, of course, the girl got fired because she, let her lips loose.
I think it's a very nice like juxtaposition between the mom or the daughter and her father, right? They're both like, she's trying to get into directing, he's directing, right? And we see this entire time is being told to do things and are asked to do things and being walked all over as director, right? The main actress is also like, oh, can I use eye drops? Because, I could cry, but whatever. Or we're going to cut the vomit because, I can't get thrown up on. My producers don't like that. And each time the director's kind of like, hey, I think we should. And he's too gentle with it, so they walk all over him. And his daughter's seeing this, so she's the complete opposite of just being like, rah, 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 rah. But I like that because then we get to see that actually work in this setting later on in the movie.
Yeah, I love the behind the scenes. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's so great.
They even do like the the readings and like just the like subtle hints of like stuff that is gonna happen, like the guy with the water
and diarrhea.
Like, he's like, if I drink hard water, then I get diarrhea. So he has to like drink special water that they gave him. But then he ended up accidentally drinking the hard water.
And then you have the drunk who's like, I don't want to be drunk or whatever, but my hands shake. And then you see his hand shaking. So it's like, oh, where's he going? He's going to get drunk. And then he's drunk the entire time filming.
He, God, that's so funny. And he ends up throwing up on two of the actors.
Yeah. Right. Especially funny with the one chick who's like, I can't be thrown up on.
She's like, what is this? So gross. And it's like, and everybody's watching it from the other side going, wow, it's going so well.
It's so realistic.
Like because they also give us like some of the TV perspective too. Because of course, like the producers are in like the studio or whatever, looking just at what is displaying over the TV, and they're like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah. And we get to see all the craziness that happens and why all of a sudden the whole script is basically thrown out and they're barely just hitting the bullet points.
Right.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's great.
I have to say, I really adored like everything behind the scenes and like the lead up to everything, because while watching it the first time, there were a few parts like throughout that I was like, wow, like this pause is like really long for some reason. That's super weird. Or they're looking off camera at what? Or like the weird thud that they never went back to. And I was like, wow, I was going to dock it down some stuff because I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Or like, when the guy stood up just to sit back down, I was like, what are they doing?
Must be the wind.
And I was like, oh, okay. Like, they're just not that great at it. But then watching it again and realizing they are just having to improv because everything is like going wrong, and every little thing that I had questioned while watching it had a reason. Like there was a reason they were doing it. I mind boggled.
The sound, the actor playing the sound guy where he's crying while having diarrhea.
Right?
Yeah.
The other guy who loses his arm and he's like, do you have wipes for this?
No wipes. No wipes.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because like thinking back to the first time that we watched it, we were the same way. We were just kind of like, oh, okay. And we were about to like talk about the movie afterwards because we watched it on Joe Bob Briggs, the last drive-in. And I remember him and I were like, this is kind of weird. Like there's like a lot of plot holes and like stuff like that in like the first, the 30 minutes movie. And then come to find out that, again, that's not the end.
That's not
And then once you see all the craziness behind everything, you're like,
like, oh my God. I remember when the chick, the mom who was the actress, popped up with the axe in her head. I was like, what is that? And then she went back down. I was like, are we not going to address that? Like, was she a zombie? Was she not? And then watching it back going,
it's because they made her pass out by drinking.
Because she got into the character
too much. She
got
way too into the role.
And that's her danger. And that's why the husband was like, I don't know if we should do this. You don't understand.
I know. I was like, wow, what a shitty husband. Like, not letting his wife, like, get to fulfill her dreams still. Like, no. Oh, I see.
He needs to protect everybody from the actor master.
Well, like, in the beginning, of the second part, like the daughter was like, "Oh, are you going to get back into acting, Mom?" Because apparently the daughter didn't know her mom when she was an actor, and the mother's like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't think your dad's going to let me. I don't know." And you're just kind of like, again, that's really shitty.
Wow, that's really
Like,
controlling.
Why? Why? And then you come to find out that she just gets way into it, and
way too
you
into
can't
it.
even snap her out of it.
Yeah, she had to be chokeholded.
Yeah.
By her own husband sitting there going,
I'm so sorry.
like he's already done it before. Like, no,
Yeah,
I got
he
this.
knew.
Yeah.
My favorite freaking bit the entire time was the palm thing.
Yes.
Though.
Self-defense.
What's so funny is I don't know how y'all didn't bust out laughing when she had like first introduced it, the first movie portion. I was like, oh, that's gonna come back into play, right? Like I was like, oh yeah, she knows self-defense. That's probably gonna come back into play, the little palm. And then it did later on in like the film, you know. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. Look at it come back. And then to realize that it wasn't ever supposed to be in it in the beginning. It was the actress who was improvising and like literally just saying it every time she did it.
Trying to kill the actress for real.
Pump. That was so good.
So good. So screenplay, what do we give it?
I give it a 10.
10.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not only was it original,
creative.
it was creative. It was, you know, like even the movie inside the movie was creative, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you know, it didn't
Well
make
thought out.
meta feel cliche, you know. The other thing is that this thing won 28 awards and it was nominated 19 times.
Yeah. As it should have been. This was incredible. Like,
why wasn't it not in the Oscars? Screw America.
I have
man.
no for real.
Because maybe it's not American. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, no, never mind. I was gonna say, didn't Parasite win or get nominated?
Oh
for
yeah, they did do stuff.
Yeah.
But it wasn't during this year, I don't think.
No. It was a while back. But
Interesting.
I
don't even
that
know.
one's
2 years ago? Parasite?
Oh, it had to be longer. I was
Really?
in college. Parasite when I
So
watched
3 years
Parasite.
ago. No, just kidding.
Oh.
Actually, what? Well,
No, I think it was like 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah.
So I think it was like 2020 era of movies. But yeah. Anywho,
All right. The direction, I gave it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
They nailed it.
Action!
Literally both directors.
And again,
The actor,
and
director,
again, just with
director,
all the
director.
running parts of everything, like, because they had to do not only film the one cut, they also had to film the behind the scenes with the one cut.
That one cut. That's the craziest part, was seeing like that they had other people and whatever filming while they were filming, and like that was never caught in the first part of the film. Like, oh my God.
It was so masterful.
Right.
That takes skill.
A lot of choreography going on.
A
Yeah.
lot of planning. Acting, 10 out of 10.
10 out of
10 out of 10 all the way. Cinematography with a special note to Takeshi Sone or Sone? S-O-N-E.
I wouldn't know. I think Sone.
Sone? Okay. Takeshi Sone. It's just cinematography. What would you give?
I give it a
10.
10.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And then-
Again, like
I mean, because-
being able to take those shots and
Right. And like, if you thought about it too, like
storyboarding.
the movie in the beginning, like the first part of the movie, like the angles had to just be right, because if the angles wasn't right, it wouldn't have worked.
right.
Because they had to.
I want to go back and watch the first part of it again to see when the cinematography style of the two actor cinematographers switch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like the second girl was the one with all the ideas that was like, oh, what if we do these zooms and like whatever. I want to see the difference. Like now that I'm knowing of it, and
Right when
go back and
he
look.
falls and he takes it because his back is out.
And
And I mean, I've been there behind the camera when my back was going out, so I totally get that. And then she goes ahead and grabs and starts doing those quick zooms.
yeah,
Oh, it's funny.
that was so good.
Editing.
And then the people in the the
Oh, no,
people
go
in the
ahead,
producers speak were like, "Whoa, did you see that?" Or like the commenting on it. It's like, yeah,
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
And the funny thing is, you can find more and more things as you watch it. So, like, she caught the star.
Yeah, caught the star.
Caught the star.
Special
On
effects.
the concrete.
Oh, you caught the star. Yes, I understand. Wow, I'm slow to catch the star now. I did not catch the star of this conversation. Moving on.
So special effects.
0 with the 1 on the side of the 0, so a 10.
Mascot.
Our mascot's going off. Is there somebody at the door?
Maybe.
So we were talking special effects.
Special
10
effects.
out of 10.
10 out of 10. I mean, I didn't see anything that was out of place. I didn't see anything that was,
Yeah. No, I mean, like, the special effects for the movie itself was just incredible. Like, the fake arm.
Yeah.
The blood that they had freaking everywhere. Like, obviously the makeup being bad on purpose is hilarious.
Right.
That's great.
That's what I was thinking.
That's such a good touch.
They did it to make it look like it was supposed to be like that, not because it was cheap. It was,
right.
That's the thing. It was kind of riding that line. Is it cheap or is it comical? And they made it comical.
Yeah.
And and the thing is guys, you got to go see this thing. Like, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
Overall, 10 out of
10.
10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
And I'm keeping
And
it.
keep it.
Keep.
Get it on
Keep it
physical
for
copy.
your
Smokes, it's good.
collection.
It's
Yeah.
good.
And the overall theme was what I loved at the end, because you don't know what it's really going to be about until the very end. It's about like, hey, as a film, everybody's important. Everybody chips in to make a film. So it's a film from film school about how everybody's important and nobody's more important than the other person to create a film. Because it ends with them climbing into a human pyramid because their arm for the crane.
The crane.
Yeah.
Broke.
Got knocked down.
So they ended up having to improvise by climbing on each other to make the 4-meter crane shot.
Right. And I think I also like the message of like not to get so sucked into your individual roles and or like whatever, like that, like there was like a slight warning against like gluttony in certain areas. Like too much of something is not a good thing.
Yeah.
And like I really liked the parallel between the pictures of the dad and the kid, with her on his shoulders and whatnot, and then her being the one on his shoulders on the pyramid at the end. I was like, oh, see, that's what happens when we.
Yeah, I think the first time I
recognize
saw that,
what's important,
because I was so happy.
I was
like,
so
oh
cute. Oh my god, it was so good. Such a good film.
Go see it.
Definitely see it.
Watch it,
Or we will find you.
And then you'll end up with a commercial of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the middle of whatever she does to you.
No.
She's going to be like walking out the door, looks back at you and says, "Sponsored by Acorn."
Imagine watching that on TV, though. Where would they like cut it to make it very awkward?
Oh, gosh.
I don't even know.
I don't even think there was like an awkward part. You know how like some movies, especially like, make you feel uncomfortable on purpose? You know, this one definitely didn't.
Yeah.
No, it was very good.
Yeah, it's like some of those Christian films that are out there. The whole thing just feels cringy.
Yeah.
Those
where it's
TikTok
like,
reviews of those things. Have you ever seen those?
No.
Oh, man. If I can find them, I'll send it over. It's hilarious.
Yeah. We must have different For You pages.
I have to show you afterwards. Yeah. Well, I keep on trying to find the guy again. I guess he ran out of stuff to go over. But yeah, there's one that's particularly cringy. Maybe we'll watch it and review it. Because that's what he does. So,
Love it.
I'm going to piggyback off that. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it. And thanks for staying for this a little bit longer than usual episode. It was a lot of fun reviewing Samantha's birthdays picks, unlike Juliana's.
Hey! So rude. That's why you cut my mic. I understand now.
I felt bad. I was like, oh no. Oh no. But we decided we're gonna re-review it later.
Yes.
So
do we have to rewatch it then?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
There's just be a shit ton more commentary by me.
You're gonna look at it with a different
rewatching
light.
it a second time, we'll see look at it at a different.
You need to go read the book and then watch it.
I think
Should
I'm
I read
okay.
all the books and then watch it, or just the one?
All the books.
Well, that'll take us out. So next time we'll be on episode 6. We'll be checking out some weird Tubi stuff, and after that we'll see maybe my birthday picks. But otherwise, make sure to look at the other episodes, especially the first one with
Baby cat.
Baby Cat, yeah. And what was it, Blue
Blue belt.
Blue belt. Yes, with the whale shark sex.
I'm a blue belt. Well, I mean, I guess they could have went with black belt, but everybody does that.
Yeah.
So at least that one.
The whale shark sex scene. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
So weird. Anyways, share us, subscribe, favorite, rate, all that stuff. Whatever you got, whatever you're streaming, make sure to let people know. We are, just starting out. So do what you can, and we would appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah.
And we'll see you.
Bye.